everybody. Let me get that off the screen. Where we at? All right. There we go. All right. All right. How's everybody doing? Take this out. Again, welcome to the beatzillapdx official show. Yes, indeed. I am beatzillapdx. I am the host, beatzillapdx officially. And today, this broadcast won't be long at all. I have another broadcast coming after this because today is my birthday. So I'm doing a call-in on my next broadcast, as well as, playing some video clips or whatnot. So let's see. Judah Queen in the house. Sila D in the house. Oyele Arquette in the house. Thank you for all the trip around the planet, the sun again. Well wishes. I appreciate all of it. Thank you. And so, today I wanted to hit. What's up, Dan Ruck? Michelle Hardgrave. Welcome. Tim Samore. What's going on? B1. So, yeah, I just wanted to hit real quick about, I'm sure everybody is seeing so much about this Bonnie and Clyde situation going on with these children. And one of the things that was kind of interesting that when I first seen the story break, for me, the way the police or the sheriff was presenting it, it right off the rip, before they showed the faces of who these people were, who these children were, you could kind of get the vibe of that they might be of the dominant society. So, as it turns out, they were. And again, see, when it's our children, remember, this 12-year-old is the same exact age as Tamir Rice was. So when they went ahead and did him in, horrible. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, Judah Queen, can you do me a very quick favor? And can you send me that article? Can you DM me that article that you just put in the chat about the coach that got fired? Because I do want to hit that real quick. So if you could, please DM me that, because I definitely want to touch that here. So again, if you guys have been following my broadcast, if you guys if you're new to this channel, there's older broadcasts that you could refer to. And I talked about, especially after January 6th, we always say, never forget. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We always say never forget, and the reason why we do never forget January 6th, when these people stormed the Capitol. Now, something that they had just mentioned, it was in a news article yesterday, that the Capitol, the siege on the Capitol, literally cost $1.5 million. So with that being said, that's just one day. Now think of how everybody was complaining. Oh man, this is horrible. This is so bad. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it, Judah Queen. I got it. But everybody was talking about how, the property damage and how much that would cost over the uprisings from last year, over the George Floyd protests. Well, and just the injustice overall is what was being protested. Let's just be clear. And from the grassroots on out. So people had to respond. It wasn't that they took charge of the movement. They had to respond. So they had response politics, which for all intents and purposes, we see now their main goal was to make sure they got people out to vote and to get the Democrats in office. After that, the black issue turned right back into something else. The Asians definitely got broke off. You know, they got their money. But some of us, you know, it's hard to learn. But in the same time, what happened is the world got a chance to see for themselves. Flip this. So the world got a chance to see for themselves how this place really is. And the face of true white supremacy, which is not distinguishable from any typical face of any typical American. Silent D, Silent D. Yeah, we got some folks in the house today. Yeah, we're gonna have a good birthday celebration today. We are. I'm looking forward to chop it up with y'all later. That'll be nice. So what I'm noticing right now with this whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, with these the 12-year-old boy, which is Travis O'Brien, and the girl who 14-year-old girl who got shot, she's recovering, which is Nicole Jackson. Both of these two children had a ferocious shootout with the police. So I just want to play a little bit of this news conference because this is really interesting. What I want you to take notice of is that when it's our children, they're going into everything that's wrong with our family dynamic and our family structure. With these children, they're talking about the system failing. And they're not really putting 100% responsibility on the children, although they identify that the children were well aware of the consequences and what they were doing. So they were well aware of what they were doing. So let's just check this out, shall we? This here. Cue it up.
Begins at around 5 o'clock tonight when one of our juvenile homes, which is a complete failure and a disgrace to the juvenile justice system in the state of Florida, a place called Fumpsh, a 12-year-old who is a severe diabetic who has to have insulin every 4 hours, runs away. And he runs away with a 14-year-old. That 14-year-old that he runs away with, you may remember, over the last year or so, stole a bunch of puppies, gets put into a halfway house in Flagler County, burns the home down. So what do? They send her to Volusia County because the juvenile justice system works so well here in the state of Florida. So now they're reported missing. So the deputies in the Deltona area go out looking for this 12-year-old and this 14-year-old because the 12-year-old is insulin dependent, and the 12-year-old, if he doesn't get his medication within 4 hours, it's going to be a critical medical emergency. So every time the deputies encounter these two little desperados, they run from us. So at around 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight, deputies are out on the bike trail behind this home when a passerby flags them down and says, I happen to hear a bunch of breaking glass at a home. So the deputies walk up to the home. They discover that there's forced entry to the home. And the amazing thing is they don't do what I would have done. I would have walked in because I have an eyewitness telling me two juveniles just forced their way into the home. They take a step back and contact the homeowner and say, should anybody have access to your home? As resources are pouring in to surround the property, the homeowner says, nobody should be home, but I have 3 firearms in the house, an AK-47, a pump shotgun, and a handgun, and 200 rounds of ammunition. So as deputies are surrounding the home and try to establish a rapport, they are met with gunfire. And they're not met with gunfire once. They're not met with gunfire twice. They're met with gunfire multiple times. At 8:28, one of my sergeants, who was the first to arrive, Sergeant Donnie Maxwell, takes fire multiple times, never returns fire. At 8:31, one of our units reports they're being fired at by the 12 and the 14-year-old. At 8:30.
Did you catch that? Never return fire. Did you catch that? And then what's the, yeah, exactly. Sounds familiar. Diabetes, the low blood sugar. So he was a severe diabetic. See, they're throwing out these excuses, and I want you to notice he's basically separating the little white boy from the white girl. So the little white boy, he's just a victim of this 14. They're only 2 years apart, man. So cut it out. Cut it out. But as you see, 12-year-old Tamir Rice, not even a chance to be given a command to heed. Pow, 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 pow. This dude is busting on the police with a damn AK-47 and no return fire. The girl walks out with a shotgun, points it at people and threatens to kill them. No fires, no bullets fired.
33, another call comes out from another group of deputies surrounding the home saying that shots were fired. At 8:40, the 14-year-old emerges from the property and threatens to kill Sergeant Maxwell.
You hear that?
At 8:54, the juvenile male armed with an AK-47 opens fire on deputies. Eventually, after all this goes on and we try to de-escalate, we throw a cell phone into the house to try to talk to them. The 14-year-old comes out of the garage with a pump shotgun, levels it at deputies, and despite warnings to drop it, she walks back into the garage. She comes back a second time, and that's when deputies open fire after.
Okay. Did you hear that? How much time she had to literally threaten police's life? Ma'Khia Bryant did not threaten anyone's life. Matter of fact, in a stand your ground state, she was defending herself from two attacking grown women. But she didn't get a chance. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. And that's why I use those pictures for this particular broadcast. Because do you see the difference? Tamir Rice and Ma'Khia Bryant. I hope I'm saying that correct. And then you got these two little kids that are having a full-fledged shootout. 2 dead black children, no gun, no fire, no shots fired at police. This is a full-fledged shootout with verbal threats. And he's actually going to he's going to try to put a label on the threat. No, if somebody says they're going to kill you or they want to kill you, then that's what it is. If it was us, that's what it's going to be labeled as. Matter of fact, my moderator, Judah Queen, right now is beefing with Twitter over what they're saying is a suggestion. So if we don't need to play it. Ma'Khia. Okay, I thought that's right. Okay, Ma'Khia. So literally got the most highest name in the name. What a coincidence.
Taping multiple rounds. After they wound her, they automatically transition to try to save her life. Apply tourniquets, first aid in here.
See?
They confront the 12-year-old who is still armed with the AK-47 in the garage.
Breonna Taylor got rendered no aid. They shot her in her house, naked. They shoot this little girl, immediately run over to render it life-saving aid.
After about 30 seconds, he decides to drop the firearm. I don't know what to say. Where have we gone wrong that 12-year-old and 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement? What the hell is the Department of Juvenile Justice doing sending these kids to places that can't handle them?
Wait a minute, brother. Never forget January 6th. Where do people get these crazy ideas that you could just run up on law enforcement? Well, ask the Proud Boys. Ask the 3%ers. Ask the Oath Keepers. Ask all of those people in the Congress right now that are stopping the investigation on that such said siege, which actually cost over $1.5 million in a day. But they want to talk about Antifa. They want to talk about Black Lives Matter. because Black Lives Matter just means one big Negro. So when you say that, let's put the light on Black identity extremists. If you notice, that's going to start popping back up. But notice how he's trying to frame it. These kids aren't victims. Stop it. How did we go wrong? Where did we fail these children? Cut it out. You know what you've been doing. And right now, this is another reason why they don't want critical race theory. I mean, because truth be told, you have a history of this type of thing. Even in recent history. So what are we talking about here? I mean, do y'all remember just, 2 weeks ago, the 16-year-old boy that stabbed that girl to death and then gets in the police car and posts up a TikTok video mocking him killing her, stabbed her 114 times. I posted that and said on my Twitter and said, wow, sometimes evil starts early. And then somebody hopped on there, mail-splaining, talking about how, well, clearly he had mental illness. No. No, clearly that kid was just a demon. And he got caught early. Because for doing something like that, he's a serial killer. And he's just a self-grooming serial killer. So if he was free, he's going to kill again. You can bet that.
We talk about juvenile justice reform.
Yeah, 114
did
times.
Everything they could tonight to de-escalate, and they almost lost their lives to a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. If it wasn't for their training and their supervision, like I said earlier, I would have walked right into that house. Hey, two kids broke into a home. I'm going to go in and arrest them. Somebody would have ended up dead. So I don't know what more to say. We'll release the body camera footage tomorrow. The information that I gave you tonight is preliminary. It's based on radio transmissions. It's based on computer dispatch calls. And it's based on the original supervisors that showed up at the scene. I don't know where we get the men and women that respond to these incidents to do what they do, and do it with bravery, do it with courage, and do it with trying to protect the sanctity of the human life. But they took rounds. Multiple rounds.
The opportunity for police pandering.
No other choice but to return fire. And again, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. So for all the faith groups out there who want to tell me about civil citations and we don't have violent juveniles, keep something in mind. This Fumps home several weeks ago, one of their students beat to death one of the counselors. We've been out to this location 289 times in 2020 for various incidents. And the Department of Juvenile Justice consistently is sending kids that need to be in secure facility into our communities. And tonight,
do they ever talk about our children like this? He's on a soapbox for real, isn't he?
And they were well supervised. Can you imagine the firepower in that home in the hands of 12 and 14-year-olds that want to threaten? They open fire on us and then come out and defy us to shoot them because they're going to kill deputies. This is something I've never seen in 35 years of policing. And I'm sad to say, thank God my career is starting to come to an end, because I don't know what the future of law enforcement looks like in this country.
Listen.
They want to defund us. They want to sanction us and take qualified immunity away. They want to make us the bad guy. And yet you have 12 and 14-year-old thugs that want to shoot it out. And you haven't seen this crime scene yet. The deputies had nowhere to hide but trees. There was no cover other than their vehicles and a tree. And any of you that are listening to me know an AK-47 is going through an engine block, it's going through a car, and it's going through your bulletproof vest.
All right. Well, he's clearly perturbed, isn't he? Let me shut this. Okay, so oh man, yeah, for real, the violins, man. Bring in the violins. He's really upset. But see what this is? Again, because the image has taken such a great hit, that, man, it's hard to say, because now you're going from the oldest to the youngest, and people's wickedness just being revealed. You know, I mean, what can we say? One thing I did notice that they're doing already now, granted, these children are charged with felonies, okay? They're charged with felonies, attempted murder, which actually they should actually be charged with aggravated murder, aggravated assault, and felonious assault. Actually, they should be charged with all of those. I've seen people with lesser crimes charged with, I mean, railroaded. So let's just cut the crap. So after they released the body cam footage, they're starting to scrub some of those videos off the net right now. Also, some of the videos that showed the kids' faces, they're going back and blurring those out, just like this. Now, for some of those, I'm sure some of y'all saw that we saw this kid's clear face yesterday when they brought him into court. Well, this is how they're re-airing it.
How old are you, sir?
12.
12? Okay.
Y'all see that?
I'm Judge Orfinger, and I'm going to conduct your detention hearing this morning. The purpose of a detention hearing, sometimes we call them a first appearance, but the purpose of a detention hearing is for me to determine whether there is probable cause that an act of juvenile delinquency occurred and that you are the person who committed that act of delinquency. And if I do find that there is probable cause that those offenses occurred, or that an offense occurred, we then discuss whether there is a basis to keep you detained or whether there's a basis to release you, and if so, under what circumstances. Some things you need to know. First off, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say,
I mean, they've already shown his face. Why is he blurred?
Reported. There is an attorney from the state attorney's office here. And so if you say something, there won't be any question about whether you said it or who you said it to.
So I just wanted to show y'all that, because this is how they're playing it right now. That's literally how they're playing it right now. They are really trying to get away from the image, because the image has been so stained, so tarnished, so varnished. Man, let me see if I can get into this article. Let's see what I do. This. Let's see if this will play. Because you actually had one of the cops telling, God, I don't want to do this. Man, please don't make me do this. Man, y'all don't get out of here with that. Okay. Let me play this for you. Okay, let me get this over here. The kid from The Omen. Damien. Oh, Lord. I mean, man. For real. Okay, you guys should be able to see that.
Subscribe the channel by clicking the button below this video. Deputies in Volusia County, Florida, shot a 14-year-old girl on Tuesday night after she and a 12-year-old boy fled a group home, broke into a house, found multiple guns inside, and then opened fire on deputies, according to Sheriff Mike Chitwood. The girl was shot in the abdomen and the arm and is in stable condition, while the boy surrendered and was not injured, the sheriff's office said. I don't know what to say. Where have we gone wrong that a 12-year-old and 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement? Chitwood said. The affidavits include details from an interview with the boy in which he admits to shooting repeatedly at officers using a handgun, a shotgun, and an AK-47 that they had taken from the home. He told investigators that they saw deputies outside the home, at which point the girl said, I'm gonna roll this down like GTA, referring to the video game Grand Theft Auto. according to the affidavits.
Hooey. I'm going to roll this down like GTA. Where have we gone wrong with these children? Oh my God. See, that kind of crap right there. We got to definitely resist that type of madness there. Because, again, let me show you. Because where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? Let's take a look. Never forget that. Y'all see that? Yeah, never forget that. January 6th. You know, this, you guys have been carrying on this way for quite some time. So I don't know what we're complaining about now. I mean, in Florida, it's not like you don't have a major history of anti-Black racism. But I mean, if we're going to ask the question about, where did we go wrong? Well, aren't these good old Americans right here? These are the back to blue people who are the big supporter of police. Where did you go wrong? Where did you go wrong? Well, I think if people really dug into the answers to that question, it would be a lot more revealing to the rest of the world. So you just kind of got to talk in circles now, because that's where you kind of pigeonhole yourself. You can't really do much else, because look at this. See, how do we have 12 and 14-year-olds thinking it's okay by the rhetoric? This isn't the defund the police crowd, sir. Can you check that? That they aren't the defund the police. They are the defend white supremacy at all costs squad. So if it comes to where they have to use the police as kindling, then they will do so. So that shows you how deep their loyalty goes, doesn't it? Well, just ask the Native Americans and all the treaties that have been broke. We're talking about truce breakers, but you're asking questions about where did we go wrong with our youth? Yeah, right. Them is your kids. Don't put them on us, because he's trying to allude to, their kids being influenced by other kids. He's not saying that, but best believe. Oh, got you to the queen. Best believe. Look at that. See, this isn't our culture. This isn't foundational Black American culture. Matter of fact, you don't see any faces of us over there. See, we're not there. Man, where did we go wrong? See, what we're talking about is the January 6th apple. See this murderer right here? That's Betty Shelby. She doesn't even have the record anymore of her taking the brother's life. They wiped that out. So he's just dead for nothing, and no one killed him, although he was shot to death on camera. Betty Shelby. Now she gets to teach police officers. Where did we go wrong? Well, when the apple doesn't fall far from Satan's tree, she asked the brother she killed, while her husband was on the airwaves talking about, whoa, he's a big one. Quick draw Shelby, ain't that man? And we all remember this dead-eyed witch. Unfortunately, the family of Botham John wanted to do all of that damn hugging in the courtroom. So now she has grounds for appeal, because the main witness subsequently came up dead and supposed drug deal gone wrong, which is total crap, and shot in the mouth, as you would do a snitch. Also something, if y'all remember and was paying attention to the case, when he showed up to testify, do y'all remember that judge? Judge Tammy? She turns over to somebody and says, wow, I'm surprised that he even showed up. Y'all remember that? And this one, she had a lot to say all the way up until January 6th. And, in the process of her storming the Capitol, a black Capitol Hill police officer who was fearing for his life had to shoot her in the chest. And, now she is deceased as of January 6th. But hey, she died for her cause, white supremacy. So they ain't afraid to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Weeping white women. Damn. Oh. And see, from the old to the young, you understand what I'm saying? White supremacy is a system, and white supremacy is bred. Okay? It just passes down from generation to generation. And, for people like this to see the benefit of it, like I said, it's not all about color, it's about spirit. And you know how they say you could see the spirit, the soul of a person is in their eyes? You see a soul in this dude? What about Lindsey Graham? Let's just switch back between him and Mitch. Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. Are those the eyes of people you should trust? Remember this guy? He showed up to a prayer meeting with 9 black folks, elderly black folks, church black folks, even prayed with them. And then he opened fire on them, probably with that weapon he's holding right there in his hands, along with the Confederate flag. This is one piece of crap, Mr. Dylan Roof. Where did we go wrong with our children, huh? Well, sir, promoting the idea of superiority when you actually can never be superior if it requires you to have an unbalanced situation. And if really who's superior, it's the people to whom you have to hold down the most. That should be common sense. But I understand how a lot of people were brainwashed into thinking so much less of themselves. Well, that day is over. Remember him? It's another one. Where did we go wrong? Well, one thing that you went wrong is you stopped talking about your mass murdering, killing kids. You just make their whole thing go away. This guy felt it would behoove him to go run up into Sandy Hook Elementary and start smoking children with that weapon that he's holding. Where did we go wrong, huh? Yeah, I'll say. Found at school. This is what he had at the school. This guy, he was the son of an engineer for General Electric. What about this guy? Nicholas Cruz, another school shooter, Parkland, Florida. How about that? Another white Hispanic, like George Zimmerman. The eyes of death, family. And this is from my own hometown, a person that I've actually came across one time in my travels in my city. Although I was totally dealt with respect. This is Jeremy Christian. And I think we all know the story about him. While harassing my little cousin and her friend, there were other people that came to the aid. And when I guess the smallest individual of the three looked like he might have been in peril, this guy pulls out a knife and starts slashing, kills two of them, wounds the other one, and the rest is history. He's in prison right now, known for being a psychopath racist. But he had a long history with this law enforcement, so they knew what he was, but they just kept letting him out. Now, who remembers this guy? This guy, he was the bankrupt individual from San Diego who, while drinking his beer and sitting at the pool with his pistol, just happened to look over and see these black folks just enjoying themselves at the same complex that they all live in and sharing the common areas that they all are paying for. Well, I guess they were just having too much fun for him. And then he decides to unload on them and shoots and kills one who just so happens to be a schoolmate of Nick Cannon. What are the odds, huh? So here's a guy again. This is just had black folks having fun disturbed him so much that he just had to go over there and do some killing. Where did we go wrong? Yeah, I'll say. So, with that being said, we see where they went wrong. Way wrong. Way wrong. And, people don't want to talk about stuff like that often because, it exposes a lot. And just like January 6th, that's what it exposed. It exposed the truth of how people's get down was. Let's see. Can I get this? Let's play. Okay. Okay. So this other thing, this other situation, and I'm wrapping it up with this right here. So Judah Queen sent me an article earlier about a football coach that actually was fired because he made his player eat pork. All because this brother is a Hebrew Israelite. So the hatred for him. These are people who, especially after the Criterion speech from Minister Louis Farrakhan last July 4th, the rest of the world was put on notice that black folks will be waking up to who their true identity and true place of just bloodline royalty is in this world. That's who we are. That's why I'm wearing red today. For the spirit. It's my birthday. So, let's see. Let me get this here. Crazy. But this is how much they can't stand us, folks. So, yeah, pay attention to this. You start becoming so-called woke, boy, folks go on alert. They go on alert, don't they? Okay, let's get back.
That's a real big question. It's a real big question of trust now.
Questions and concerns after one parent says his son, a football player at McKinley Senior High School, was forced by his coaches to eat a pepperoni pizza in front of the entire team 2 weeks ago.
Very upset. Just felt disrespected.
An act seemingly insignificant until you realize the football player and his family eat kosher as part of the Hebrew-Israeli religious faith.
Coach used, to say poor judgment would be an understatement. This was humiliating for this child.
That father spoke as his lawyer announced plans to file a lawsuit, given they say the coaches knew the son wouldn't eat pork.
What I call a pork pizza there. And it's kind of interesting because everyone on the team knows that this child does not eat pork.
The father says his son was forced to eat that pepperoni pizza because he missed practice a week earlier due to an injury. If he didn't, the rest of the team would suffer with extra drills, and his son's own status on the team would be put into question.
Makes you question, are they, doing their job, or are they capable of doing their job, or is it, obviously I feel like the culture is broke.
A statement released by the school district reads in part, the incident calls into question whether appropriate team management, discipline, and player accountability infrastructures are in place. Let us be clear, the Canton City School District holds all staff to the highest professional and ethical standards. Anything short of these standards is unacceptable.
If I can somehow guarantee that I'll never feel this way again, I felt like I would, definitely take it. And so I did get the vaccine.
Add the stream. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can get my camera back on. All right, there we go. Boy, oh boy. They didn't like that. But yes, buck breaking for real. And that's the thing. So again, for many who know how, I identify on that level, it's no mystery. color of my particular tribe is green. That would be the stone that I represent. One of 12. So with that being said, just wanted to show you how how they are trying to protect this image and then act like they don't know how things got so far with their own children. Because you've been letting them run wild on everybody, talking about do what you will. It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. So when you deal with and live in the life of deception, falsehood, lying, just flat out lying on people, like y'all lie on Minister Farrakhan. Now, what if, how is it that someone could say, I'm going to do something so anti-Semitic as make a person who is keeping a kosher diet eat pepperoni pizza? You think they would have ever done that to a little Jewish man or girl? You think that would happen? I think not. So with that being said, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And, okay, yes, driving while listening, absolutely. I hope I'm giving you something good to ride too. Yeah, so just seeing how the game goes. Watch this case pretty closely, because this whole Bonnie and Clyde thing they're doing, they're going to try to start working in they were inspired by something angle. So get used to hearing that. But what they're going to try to do is try to get rid of the police talking about how they didn't want to shoot these kids, because at first it sounded cool. But you can't come out and say how you don't want to shoot this little white girl, and then you're always justifying unloading on black folk. Which brings me to mind right before we get out of here. Last thing real quick. Remember what DJ Envy said Well, I guess I just must be a coon then, because, you know, Micaiah did have a knife. Well, yeah, I guess you are a coon, DJ Envy. Because good grief, what you said is you would hope that they would kill this white girl. So I want the world to know that DJ Envy feels that Nicole Jackson, 14 years old, she should be dead right now. She should be shot by the police. That's what DJ Envy said he hoped, while caping for the death of Ma'Khia Bryant. Yeah, don't let DJ Envy forget that one, family. He needs to be the donkey of the day on his own program, don't he? Saying that silly madness. Well, maybe I'm just a coon then because I feel like she had a knife, defending herself from two grown women. These people had a full-fledged shootout, old style, like, you're never going to take me alive, copper. I mean, come on, man. And then they hit the girl. You need to, hopefully I can find this video if I can. I'll post it on my Instagram or on my Twitter. But it's the body cam footage after they shot the little girl. And she's up there, oh, okay, sweetie. Are you all right, sweetie? See, you should have just gave up because I didn't want to have to shoot you. And see, and that is starting to disappear from the internet. Because I just went and looked for something today, and they've already deleted all of the body cam footage that they had yesterday. Even Good Morning America did a piece on it. All of it's gone. So them body cam, obviously that did some damage here. Because you're also hearing how the police are coddling this shooter. So, yeah, man, cash out the bag. Let the chips fall where they may. Down with the devil, period. And down with his system of white supremacy. Because, again, time's up. Never forget January 6th. Because, you know, the January 6th apple does not fall far from Satan's tree. And with that being said, family, you can follow me on Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Instagram, beatzillapdx. On Melanated People, you can follow me at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And also on Facebook, you can get me at beatzillapdx. If you have any questions or show ideas, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That is, matter of fact, let me put that up here for you. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put something in the bucket and drop a donation to this platform, all donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you to everybody who has donated, and thank you to everybody who will donate. Everything is appreciated. You know, I don't do this for the money, but I do this for the sake of the family that needs this information out. And again, we haven't had the opportunity just to be able to build with one another. So just taking this opportunity to do that, which later on at 1:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm doing a birthday live. So I'm doing call-in, so hopefully you guys can call in, come chop it up for a minute, and I'm going to play some music, play some videos, and, you know, just have a good time with the family and celebrate this grassroots, celebrate this new Black media, and celebrate this B1 family. Because, hey, it's our time. You know what I'm saying? Time for being in the shadows is over. You know, you can hear us loud and clear in the front. And with that being said, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. All right. So see y'all back here in about 45 minutes. So about 45 minutes, y'all. Make sure y'all come right back. We're going to get into just some fun, just some fun time, a fun conversation, chopping it up, play some music, and, just rock out like that. So until the next broadcast, family, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I hope to see y'all back. Hope to see your faces. Hope to hear your voices. And we rolling like that. So, shalom.